Welcome back to another tutorial. This one's actually on a few commands that appear to be missing, but they're really still there inside of the user coordinate system command, the UCS command. So if I first show you what we're dealing with, I'm just going to go to the orbit command there, wait till I get my orbit icon, and then turn this little 3D model around. You can see I've got a wedge slot at the back. And I've got this sloping surface, not the same angle as the wedge slot, on the front. It looks a little bit like one of those dogs or clamps you get in the machinist tool set to clamp things down on a work surface with the bull nose in the front. Well, what I want to do with this is I want to drill or model 3 holes going across here. This is 4 inches wide, so 1 inch in, 1 inch in, 1 inch in. So I'm going to get 3 equal-spaced holes across the surface of this flat area. So at the moment, I can't do that. And the reason I can't do that is because you can only extrude an object like a cylinder, like a circle, into a cylinder, which would be representative of a hole, in the positive or negative direction of the z-axis. And you can see at the moment it would simply just come straight down. So I'm going to get out of the 3D orbit that I was in, excuse me, by hitting the escape command. And now I'm going to type in the UCS command. UCS and enter. Now you can see that this immediately, and I just hit my F8 key to get it out of ortho mode, this immediately goes into like origin mode. I can move the origin across, but the XYZ will stay roughly in the same area. It will nestle around a corner, but you know, it's not what I want. I want to be able to detail down which direction I want the X and a Y so that I've got the Z running in the proper direction for my drill holes. Okay, so even though it's not there, and even though there doesn't appear to be a shortcut, type 3P, then enter. And you can see we come up with an origin point. Well, that's the same as if we did put over origin. But if I go across here, I can click on that side and then it comes up with another one. It wants me to specify a portion on the positive end of the x-axis. Well, that's easy. I want it there. And now it's asking for a point on the positive portion of the y-axis. And that one again is easy. I'll want that one there. Now, if I turn this around now, you can see that I've got my drill possibilities dead right, but I'm going to have to go in the negative Z direction. Okay, but you can see I'm there, right? Now, that being the 0, 0, 0 point, to put a drill hole, a 1/4 inch drill hole on there, I just simply need to go back and get the circle command. And then because that is 0 and I'm measuring out from that point, I do not need the @ sign. So I am going to go 1, 0.75, so 3/4 of an inch up to there, and that's going to start where my drill hole is. If I do D and enter and 0.25, because that's the diameter I want it, that's going to give me my first drill hole, and I could then move that across an inch and an inch to give me all 3. Now, to do the extrusion and then the subtraction is going to be the same as normal, so I'm going to go to extrude, come over, grab the circle, and then remember, it's not positive, it's going to be negative. So even if I drag it into positive, I'm going to do -1, then enter. It needs to go against that Z arrow, okay? It needs to go against it to go into the object so I can delete it and make a hole, right? So I'm going to subtract that now from the outside shape. I'm going to take that little circle off. Come on. Nearly got you. There we go. And then if I look in visualize and I come over to, let's see, shaded with edges will probably show it better. Now you can see my hole going in perpendicular to that particular face. Okay, now one last thing to mention. We've just gone through the whole rigmarole of setting up this as a UCS, and even if you go through that whole thing and just move things around, like on the die, where you can actually put spheres and things top and bottom on a certain surface, you could set up 3 UCSs and do front, back, left, right, top, bottom. Okay, and then you could just push the object being symmetrical to the position that you need it. Well, what about if you want to go back to that surface? You don't want to do it all over again. Okay, so let me just get out of that and go back into the UCS command. Now I'm going to enter something that you're not immediately going to see. Now that sounds crazy. It's actually there. There is a shortcut for this area right there under named. But rather than going in through that and then entering the S or the R, which stands for save or restore, I'm going to save this UCS. So I'm just going to hit S, enter. And it says enter a name to save it. And I'm going to do SLOPED, sloped, and then enter. And you can see that the icon comes back up there. Well, let's just say that I've moved on, I've started on something else. The easiest way for me to show you that is go UCS, enter. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and say UCS, enter, enter. And now we've taken the UCS back to its standard position on the desktop. And I suddenly think, oh, I forgot to put the other 2 holes in. Okay, that happens, even to me. UCS, enter. Now I can do R, then enter. And then it would be sloped. You just have to keep a note as to what you called the surface, and it will snap straight back to it, exactly where you said it. So that's a pretty useful command too, the fact that you can store and restore or save and restore various UCSs that you've created in a model. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little tip, and I'll see you next time.